Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I finally found the owner of this truck, George.
Dan.
Dan, that's right, Dan. Brian, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
We're just kidding, we've known each other for a while. Anyway, guys, the show's a little bit quieter today, and it's early in the morning before it gets real wild, and we're gonna walk around and check out this super wild truck you built.
Absolutely, let's do it.
All right, let's go. All right, so I'm here with Dan from One of a Kind Customs. Where are you guys out of?
Sigourney, Iowa.
All right, I probably won't be able to repeat that again. Sigourney, Iowa. Did I do it right?
Yeah,
Oh.
out in the middle of a cornfield.
You should have called it Cornfield Customs.
It's not a bad idea. Might have to change the name.
So tell me a little bit about the truck. So this is probably one of the probably the most wild truck here. It is the most wild truck here in terms of paint job and the chop top, and the truck's super low. When did you guys start the project, and how did you come up with making it so wild?
So this was a project we pulled in. My brother and I own One of a Kind Customs, and this was his idea on a crazy chop.
Okay.
And it's a chop that, as far as we know, has never been done before. We took 8 inches out of the bunk and cab, and then we took 3 inches out of the hood and the firewall and the dash and the lower door.
Wow.
So just to give it a more proportional look.
Yep.
Now, after hours of that, we thought we got to throw crazy paint on it. So we brought a painter in-house and threw a crazy paint job. Then after that, we thought we got to go crazy sound. So we got a system over 30,000 watts. Then we ended up going crazy low. So we're literally can set it on the ground.
Yep. And guys, look here. I mean, that truck's low. Have you you have a hard time driving it around? Like, speed bumps or anything like that a problem?
So we haven't drove it too much. We've been hauled at shows, but we've got to be very cautious. We got overinflators and everything, but even then, it's not much.
Okay. I would imagine you gotta really pay attention driving this thing around. It wouldn't. What's the ride height when it's aired up?
So we got about 3 inches clearance on the rear fenders. Then we can overinflate it to get about 5 inches.
5 inches of ground clearance. Wow, at ride height. And you guys can tell over here, let me zoom in. The fenders are touching the ground. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we put shift fenders on it. They came in last minute to get us a set of fenders right before mats.
Nice.
Roadworks was a huge help on this project. They did a custom bead roll drop panel. They got us an eye panel that sits about 1 inch off the ground. We've got their exhaust, their visor. We've got a brand new series of cab lights that will hold the Roadworks mini watermelon lights. Roadworks front bumper. We got custom motorcycle headlights. We fabricated the headlight brackets.
And y'all done a lot of fabricating on the back of the frame of this thing too.
So in the back of the frame, we kind of went with like a 50s car look.
Yep.
Where that's got the fin at the back of the car.
Yep.
So, and we went through and actually cut the frame. That's something that, at the back of the frame, you've got so much the same out there.
Yep.
We wanted something different that stood out. So we custom bent all that, welded it all together,
nice.
And it just turned out awesome back there.
All right, let's flip the camera around and start walking around the truck then.
Absolutely.
All right, starting out, first off, the bumper's touching the ground. You don't have much further to go. You could just about make the dang rear fenders touch if the bumper wasn't in the way. That's pretty cool. So this is the grill y'all made, right?
Yeah, so that was a grill. I designed the grill. Roadworks went through and cut it how I wanted it, and they built it for us.
That's super cool. There's the motorcycle headlights he's talking about. I like the brackets too. Those are neat.
Just something different.
So if you can explain to me this hood chop, because the chopping the hood up. Where do we start cutting stuff?
So right under the rivet line.
Right here.
We took 3 inches out of that and dropped it down.
Okay.
We had to do some adjustment on the underside of the hood to fit the radiator.
And you've also got all that back structure, so you're cutting through both of those.
Yes, we re-fiberglassed the inside panels to where they're all the factory look, to where you can't even hardly tell we took anything out.
And then so you're losing 3 inches here, so now your radiator, well heck, your radiator would have been up here anyway, right?
So our radiator has about a 1/2 inch of clearance underneath the hood.
Yep. I know how much fun that is. We did the body drop on Bill's truck, and then when you get done with it, you get like, you can maybe put a piece of paper between it. It makes you a little bit nervous.
Absolutely.
All right, so you guys did that. Then we've got I like the breather setup, just a nice clean. What breathers are these?
So the United Pacific breathers that already come chopped, and then a 12 gauge boltless bracket.
Yep.
And then on the hood latches, Roadworks is just coming out with these new style hood latches.
Those are cool looking.
Something that keeps them on the outside of the hood, and something unique that you don't see.
Yep, they're nice. Now, one thing that's really awesome is, so I do like the mini watermelon lights that Roadworks is making, and this little mini housing's cool.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've seen those.
So those housings, they should be coming up available shortly. They're in production now.
Yep.
And then we've got the Mini Hero watermelon lights from Roadworks that fit perfect in them. Mm-hmm. But they'll house any 3/4 inch light.
That's really cool. And then what visor is this on here?
It's a Roadworks visor.
Okay. It looks super awesome. And then they also did the panels. I like the bead rolls and the.
It's just something to give an old school look.
Yep. I like that a lot. And another thing I really liked that I thought you did super cool was putting the name in the tank. I think
ghosted that in there to where it's still there, but you can hardly see it.
I like that. That's neat. The reflections are making it hard to really see it, but you can tell. That's it's got everything you're supposed to have on there. I don't know. Do you think they'll like it too much about, like, is that visible enough from the road?
You know, if they stop us and we're hauling 80,000 pounds, I think that's going to be the last thing they pick up. I'm sure there's height requirements and a few other things.
There's all kinds of stuff they're not going to like about it. Yep.
Just like do not weld to the frame. Well,
wait, what welding did you do to the frame? None. I mean, well, the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't look like we welded, but.
So do you still have airbags on here?
No, we actually. So with the sound system we went in there, we put over 1,000 pounds extra in the bunk
with just stereo stuff.
Just speakers, batteries.
Let's open the door up real quick. Another thing I like too, and a lot of guys don't do it, but painting through the door jambs is super nice touch. The paint job's awesome. I love the colors. It's quite wild. I know I was watching you guys build this on TikTok. I couldn't figure out why in the world you guys were going yellow and red and how that was going together. And I was like, I gotta see this truck when it gets done. Like, what in the world are they doing?
Everybody thought we was doing a Ronald McDonald's truck.
Yeah, but the colors, they work. It's awesome. So what do we got? What am I looking at here? A whole bunch of amps.
We've got 16 SCAR amps, 4 15-inch SCAR subs.
Yep.
And we literally built a roll cage inside here just to hold all the amps.
How many speakers total do you have in here?
So there's 18 speakers, 5 tweeters, and then up in the cab, we've got them in the headliner, in the doors.
I think the headliner is probably my favorite deal. I like the speakers up there. It's a cool touch. It's definitely cool.
We did a custom steering column in there that's all chrome.
That's like a hot rod steering column.
Absolutely.
That's
Kind of did an old school hot rod look on the dash.
And you guys pretty much built that whole dash?
Yeah, we built the whole dash, and then we had custom gauges built by NT Lights.
Mm-hmm.
That guy, I think this was the first 379 gauges he's done, and they are awesome.
I like it. It says low life there. That's cool.
Yep.
Super neat. So then we'll go back here to the frame. So you guys welded this entire, generally a deck plate sits on the inside of the frame rails, or it'll sit on top of the frame rails. This thing's all welded one-piece deal.
So it's one piece welded all the way from the cab, all the way underneath the bunk, all the way to the rear of the frame.
Wow.
We welded the fifth wheel on. We welded our own suspension hangers.
I like the suspension hangers too, they're cool.
And we kind of just went with the triangle look.
And if you guys, again, the fenders are on the ground. Did y'all have to trim the fenders at all, or is that the stock height of the fender?
That's the stock height of the
Fender, nice.
So on this build, we was close enough on time.
Yep.
We probably should have trimmed them a little bit. And we actually had to put spacers in there to space them up a little bit.
Yep.
Because we went too low.
And then back here, this is what you're talking about with the rear. And that everything's welded all together.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a lot of work right there in itself too. Just grinding and smoothing all these and making the angles work is a ton of work.
We had to weld it strong enough that when it drags, it'll hold up.
You're gonna put some titanium plates back there and go down the road.
Yeah.
Stick them on the ground, throw sparks everywhere.
Because when you go low, it's not if you drag, it's when you drag.
Yeah. It's super nice. And then this is the eye panel you're talking about they made. And I like the fitment on that because again, everything's like super low to the ground. We'll go get way down here like that.
And one thing awesome about that, we actually got this eye panel delivered to us at the show at Matt's. We installed it in the parking lot. So it was kind of the last piece of the puzzle we had to do.
At least I know we weren't the only ones at Mid-America still putting a truck together in the parking lot. There was many people doing it.
Absolutely. If you're not doing it, you're not doing Matt's right.
Well, the truck is freaking cool. How long did it take to do all the paint work?
So our painter alone, which was that did the paint, mainly customs, and himself alone, not including sand time by us or body work, just paint alone.
Yep.
We had over 300 hours that he had in it.
Wow. 300 hours. I believe it though. There's a ton of detail in that paint.
Yeah, it's got depth, and we absolutely buried the stripes on it. So when you run your hand down the stripe, even though you're not supposed to touch trucks at the show,
can I touch
but
it?
You can touch it.
Okay.
It's absolutely smooth. So, and it took layers of clear.
Wow. Yeah, there's nothing there. That's awesome.
I think there was 14 gallons of clear.
14.
It was all House of Color paint.
That's wild. It's a super cool truck. I've enjoyed checking it out all weekend over here at the show, and yeah, I just like it because it's so unique and so much different than anything else that's sitting out here on the lot. Well, you guys did a heck of a job with it.
We appreciate it. So, and then we had a custom plate that just came just in time for Matt's. We couldn't get low life on a plate, but
they wouldn't approve low life.
It was
or somebody already had it. Okay.
So we did flake just because the amount of flake that went into this paint job.
All right, guys, that's it for the video. Thanks for showing me around the truck. I've enjoyed watching this truck all weekend, and even at Mid-America, and finally slowed down enough we could go over and make a video and show all you guys the whole truck. Y'all have done an amazing job with it, and you've made something that's completely different than anything else sitting out on the lot.
That's what we went for.
That's what I appreciate the most out of it. You guys do a ton on the social media stuff, especially on TikTok, because I was watching all this happen on TikTok.
Absolutely.
How can these guys follow you and see what else you're doing?
If you want to follow us, it's One of a Kind Customs IA, and that's on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You can look us up there.
Cool. So check them out for sure. And guys, remember, you got to like, subscribe, hit the little bell button if you want to see more videos like this and get all the notifications. Go to semicasualshow.com. You can get all the cool shirts and hats and stuff. And other than that, we'll see you on the next video. Later.